Hey, hey, what's going on, everybody? Where's everybody at? Let's go, rise and grind. Rise and grind. It's Wednesday morning. It is 9:30. Keeping my promise, coming to you guys at least once a week, typically on Mondays, as I come out of my networking meeting every Wednesday, passing some business, getting some business, building those good relationships. How we doing, guys? How we doing? I entitled this scope, basically keep your cool, because I think it's pretty important to talk about, in some cases, when things not only just don't go your way, but when you have a situation, whether it be an existing client or customer, a prospect, or anybody for that matter, even could be a colleague. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I appreciate it. Where unfortunately the conversation or even the meeting takes on a heated, connotation. And, there isn't maybe too many people that might talk about this, but I'm going to, because I'm speaking from experience. Because, look, nobody's perfect, guys. You can't please everybody. And sooner or later, you're going to, even through no fault of your own, somebody's going to get pissed off because of you or your company or a representative from your company, what have you, to the point where the person you are conversing with, could really get nasty. And it's never a good thing. It's never proactive. It's always reactive to go down that path and get into it with somebody verbally, even if they get as nasty as they possibly can, call your integrity, your character into question. Don't ever let anybody do that, obviously. But you can still push back in a professional way. And at the end all be all is if somebody actually gets that nasty with you, then you're in a position to where and you're getting confirmation right then and there, whether you had your doubts going into it, somebody else that's part of the project or the scenario had their doubts, that is going to confirm for you that you obviously need to go your separate ways and shouldn't be doing business with that person. Now, again, this might sound elementary because you're thinking to yourself, well, yeah, if somebody comes at me, they're, cursing at me, they're just flat out, there's just no stopping them or calming them down. But unfortunately, hopefully it happens to you seldomly, but when it does, unfortunately, a lot of people don't handle it correctly. And especially when you have A personalities, a couple of alpha males, one of which is like myself, it's hard to maintain your composure when somebody is basically just flat out, even going down the road of literally insulting you in a heavy way. And you still, even under those circumstances, cannot let somebody get to you. So just maybe some, verbal ammunition, if you will, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's over the phone, is to, look them in the eye or to be very forthcoming and communicate to them, look, obviously we are completely on separate, not only separate pages, we're not even in the same book. I'm sorry for that. And again, you may have to bite that tongue and apologize even though you don't want to. But it's always the right thing to do because you can at least know that you did your best, especially when ending a relationship, a business relationship, that you tried to be the professional, to be the grown-up, and end it the way it's supposed to end versus somebody hanging up on you or storming out of a room and slamming a door or whatever the case may be. So this happens a lot, gang. I mean, you can imagine not only in corporate boardrooms, one-on-ones, again, phone conversations, conference calls, etc. There's different personalities out there. And one thing that I've learned a long time ago, back in my executive search and staffing days, was to stop trying to figure out people. You know, you can have the greatest product and service in the world, but you know what? As soon as the human element comes into play, that's when things start getting messy sometimes. So I've always said, you know, people are our greatest, you know, best and worst product, right? So I think that this is important. It is something that I've unfortunately experienced. And listen, I want to be very clear. It doesn't mean that it's a direct relationship, whether you own the company, you're a representative of the company, and this particular person is berating you or coming at you because something you did. Again, it could just be because of the company and something was completely out of your control, but unfortunately, you were on the receiving end of the riot act. So, and I've been there. I've been there with top clients back in the day where you get somebody that could be on a power trip, and because they were maybe left off an email or could be any stupid little thing, next thing you know, they're making life living hell for you with that business relationship. Even though you might have a phenomenal reputation with the company, a great reputation with maybe, say, hiring managers or, you know, the decision makers, but now you get somebody involved that plays middle person because they're involved. And again, just because of personality clashes, maybe philosophy clashes, whatever the case may be, they're all of a sudden going to maybe even try hard to make you look bad. And you can't let that happen. And the last thing I want to talk about, because this might even be more important than anything, is talking about a scenario, a business situation, etc. on social media. It happens over and over and over again, whether it's a company review or somebody that specifically targets a particular individual. You cannot get into a social media war with somebody that's trying to trash you. Because honestly, gang, if somebody's taking that much time out of their day to go on social media, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, wherever, LinkedIn, God forbid, and they're trying to trash you, if you most people aren't going to have to look too far to realize that person doing the trashing probably has done it to other people. And what happens is they end up losing credibility, and they lose credibility quickly. So what you need to do, especially if you're the owner or if somebody's representing your company, is to always respond to a negative review, but obviously in a positive and professional light. You know, hey, so-and-so, we're sorry that you really feel that way. We'd love to resolve the issue. Please feel free to stop in, give us a call, etc. So even though the relationship could be severed, you cut ties, etc., the public needs to know that you played the professional role, you played the professional part, and you did everything you could to try to make what seems to be the wrong right. Okay? Does that make sense? So do not get into a social media assault and war with somebody that is unfortunately trying to slander you, give you bad press, because as we all know, bad press travels even faster than good press, especially on social media and the internet, okay? But a lot of people, that won't deter them, potential clients or customers, if they do their research and homework. So if this one person is trying to slander you or give you a bad name on multiple platforms, obviously they're going to come up. And even if they're using some kind of fake, identity or something like that, or fake profile, sooner or later, people aren't going to read into that. Now, obviously, if you're not doing the right things and you got multiple people that are hammering you on social media or the internet, obviously, you've got some things you need to take care of and clean up. But do not, I emphasize, I implore you, do not get into it to where you let that alpha male or alpha female personality take over, and all of a sudden you're in some sort of screaming match or email war or social media war, because it's never a good thing. I don't care if you're venting, if they're venting, whatever the case may be, it's always good to be the bigger and better person. Yes, me as a parent say this, and just walk away, but try to do your best to cut those ties as cleanly and as professionally as possible. Okay? Because if you don't, only bad things are going to happen. Only bad things are going to come from it. So I really hope that this helps. I hope that you haven't had to experience this yet, and I hope if you do, God forbid, you'll take my advice, because, again, gang, I'm bringing, over 23 years, 24 years, almost 25 years at this point, experience in multiple industries, on multiple sides of the fence, blue collar, white collar, union, non-union, boardroom, factory, whatever the case may be. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and in the end, it's never worth it. It's never, ever, ever worth it. So do the right thing. Always, always, always keep your cool. Don't let them get the best of you. Obviously, don't let anybody try to really verbally trash you or question your integrity or your character, because that's a whole different scenario. But you also can't be the rattlesnake and just pounce on them and try to win that way, because that's just not gonna, it's not good. It's not good. All right. So with this, again, I'm coming to you every week, usually on Wednesdays, but I do have a promise that since it's been a couple of months, last week was my first broadcast in probably 4 or 5 months. My promise is to keep coming to you guys at least once a week. Maybe I'll do it a couple times a week if I can. Schedule's real busy. We're hammering out. Things are going well. So I hope business is going great for you guys. I hope all your families are well. Continue to check back with me. I'm at Ray Yedman everywhere, all over the place. Have a great day, guys, and do the right thing. # get some.